This is Pops, and I want to talk about the latest Star Trek original series rewatch for me, Menagerie Part 1 and 2. And no, we're not getting an elaborate video on this because I don't know about you guys. Did you guys feel trolled when you watched this episode? Do you feel a little, because this is called The Cage Redux, right? Because this is, I'm assuming this is like financial reasons. Like this is a cheap way of adding content, and I feel like, wait a minute, didn't I just watch this episode? And it's like a weird, contrived way to use stuff that's sort of like outside the scope of the new broadcast because the cage was that first pilot that didn't take, and they redid the whole thing with Kirk, and it's a way of tying in that footage and that lore. Now I will say they did it in a way that was believable, but I was like sitting there, like, first off, I will say, was I bored and that's why time felt like it went by quickly, or was it good? Because I was like, this is an episode I very distinctly remember, and the Pike and the court hearings and the comatose version of Pike with the buttons, the burp, 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 and it's like that I vividly remember. But any of this happening, I was like, I was so blindsided by this episode. I was like, wow, this was strange. So my biggest issue with the episode, why I'm not pulling anything up, there's hardly anything here. It's just the cage again, right? Is how would Spock have contrived all of this? How did this work? So the rumor goes out into the universe that this horrible accident has happened with Pike. He was being heroic, but he's physically marred and incapacitated. He has a very marginal physical life ahead of him. We can go back to the very beginning of Talos, where this planet that no one should ever interact with. Forget about going there. It's a death penalty to just talk to these people. Like that wasn't discussed. Why would a federation that's set on exploration and information and all of that like have such a radical ban? There wouldn't be more communication. And are we supposed to believe there's not been other humans that have just accidentally wandered into that area and have been sort of like taken as part of their zoo? Anyway, that notwithstanding, let's just presume Spock hears the rumor that's happened to Pike. He's now going to contrive this elaborate plan to hijack the Enterprise, get Pike there, somehow coordinate with the Talosians to play back this video, which I love the fact that there's this massive video content and different camera angles and different points of view that the Talosians were not even part of, especially the shots of on the Enterprise, which is great. It's like the Talosians are playing back the TV episode, not actually where they were. Okay. And how would Spock, like, the Talosians at the end say, "Oh, by the way, this Commodore was never there on this shuttle. It was just an illusion that we put in." I'm like, "What on earth?" Spock would never have been able to piece together. I mean, this is not 4D chess. This is 12D chess. This is insane levels of contrivances. I don't hate that they try to figure out a way to get content, put it into their new canon, make it all work. This is Pike's future, which I'm not totally thrilled that that's his future, right? His future is, yeah, he can go here and live in some sort of fantasy land until he dies. And that poor actor, what's with this poor actor who had to sit there this whole time with this sort of like catatonic look on his face? He's in the box. At least in the part one, he got to do, two bumps to the burp, burp for nose. And in the second episode, it's basically just burp. So I don't know. Pick your poison, dude. I, I was wow, this was a strange one for me. I can tell you right now. I was not impressed with Spock. I was not impressed with all of the I was still logical. It was so insubordinate. And why would he get away with like assaulting the people on this other outpost space station thing? Like, he literally assaults at least two people with the Vulcan nerve pinch to literally hack their computer to falsify the information to make it look like that is clearly just a semantic if it's not called a lie. Like everything was very forced and strange to me. And I feel that it works enough that it does not work, but man, is that a stretch. I it wouldn't be something I'd want to sit through again. And it wouldn't be something that I would consider good or ranks near the top of any of my lists, that kinds of things. You guys are gonna have to fill in a whole lot of gaps. Uh, My favorite moment was probably Bones, where Spock goes, "You have to arrest me. You're the senior officer," and Bones is like, "Just get him out of here." Poor Bones is like, "I don't want to be involved in this mess. What have you done with me?" I waited for him. He should have just called him green blooded bastard or something. It would have been funny. But what a mess of an episode. But I get it. I'm making some presumptions. You guys will fill in the gap. I'm sure there's a tons of drama and politics that go on to why we ended up here. But it was strange that we're just going to replay this episode as two full episodes with this weird court martial hearing thing to play this video that somehow Spock is coordinated. And suddenly it was so easy for Spock to put the Enterprise on like autopilot. That again seems like something that we would be very careful to come up with because it would play out well in other episodes. Like it seems like something the Enterprise or other spaceships could do if that could be done. Like why couldn't Spock do it over here on this episode or this movie or whatever? So there's little things like that for me that do not work in this one, but I could be completely wrong. You guys will set me straight. I'm waiting to hear back from folks like you, Norporio, because Lord knows, what have you done? What is this? What is this nonsense that you put me through? I couldn't handle this one. Um, it's not the worst television in the world. It's nothing like that, folks. I'm not a Trekkie. This is just my take on it. I love hearing from you guys. Let me know. Take care, everybody. I am Pops.